Movie Club Monday. This time we're talking about Bone Tomahawk, which I didn't really know what to expect. You know what I mean? When I saw the movie. This is a movie that has been on my radar for a while, but um, but I've heard it from different, content creators over on TikTok, on YouTube, on all these other things. Kurt Russell, Western, horror movie. But I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. So that was a pretty big shock. Just initial. These are just my initial thoughts on the movie. Pretty weird. A little bit slow at times. I will admit. I kind of got a little bored with it a little at times, and I had a sneaky suspicion that this movie was going to go off the rails because it was already like an hour and a half in, a little bit over an hour roughly, and yeah, it got crazy. It absolutely got crazy. So pretty big shock at the end of how gory and where they went with this. Definitely kind of Terrifier territory, with that one scene at the end. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. So, having said that, that's what the episode's about. Bone Tomahawk. Hopefully, you all have watched it. And if not, that's okay. We're going to end up talking about whatever on this live stream anyway, because that's how it usually plays out. But let's go ahead and start with it. Okay. Do you think the movie works better as a Western, a horror film, or something in between? At what point did it stop feeling like a traditional horror Western, or sorry, like a traditional Western for you? And the opening scene, I think, kind of does all of that stuff, right? I think it plays it really well with David Arquette being the cowboy, out with his buddy. I forgot his name. He was great in Devil's Rejects and everything like that. So right off the bat, you're in a Western. But then when they get attacked, and like the lead up to that attack, very creepy, very weird. So I did appreciate that. So you kind of get all of that right at the beginning, which I did appreciate. Kind of like you think you're getting this type of movie, which if you didn't know anything about it, you think you're getting the Western, turns into a horror pretty quickly. Charles Chavez, what's going on? Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for stopping by for the movie club. But yeah, overall, I think it turned into from a Western to a horror pretty quick. Then it transitions back mostly into a Western for the duration of the movie, and then it flips. Once again, I didn't really know what to expect with this. So pretty cool how it turned out. I think it's a little bit long, but having said that, and I do like Westerns. Don't get it twisted. I like Westerns a lot, but it just felt like too Western when I was going into it thinking this is going to be a little bit more horror based. And we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's see. The violence and the purpose of the movie. The violence is extremely graphic, which, yeah, like I said, it gets crazy, but used sparingly. Did it feel justified and effective or exploitative? How would the movie change if the violence were toned down? I kind of alluded to that already. I think that the violence in this movie was very, sparingly. Like I said, the whole middle of the movie, not too much happens, right? But the end gets crazy. And I did like that because it was this huge buildup of like, when are we going to get to the crazy stuff? When is this crazy imagery going to happen? And then it finally happens and it felt awesome. It felt great to see that. So I think it was used pretty well. I do think that even though it comes at the end, I think there was still, it was like too close to the end, right? We didn't get enough of it in the grand scheme of things. I think that was kind of my biggest gripe with it. I liked the story. I liked how they were chasing after, these people that were taken. And I think I liked what the bad guys actually were, which were these different breeds of Native Americans is what they kind of described them as. And I think I liked it. I kind of thought we were going to get like monsters, like just legitimate monsters or something like that. But I think it worked pretty well. Civilization versus savagery. The film draws a sharp contrast between civilized society and, I'm going to butcher their names, but those monster things. Do you think the movie is commenting on how thin that line really is or reinforcing it? I don't think it was that thin of a line, to be honest with you. I think there's a clear difference. Even though, we have the Wild West setting, people were going crazy, doing whatever they wanted. Guns, like everyone had a gun. Everyone just automatically drew a gun on everybody and used it. And they're not that different from what they were chasing down. But at the same time, like, there was a clear difference of the two different types. Let's see, the character choices under pressure. And feel free to chime in, everybody. Chime into this. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section. I'll be reading those and we'll discuss the movie. So, Character choices under pressure. Which character's decision did you agree with the most during the journey and which frustrated you? Did anyone surprise you by the end? It's weird. I liked the characters for the most part, but I wasn't in love with any of them, if that makes sense. Like Kurt Russell is always great. I was talking about him. I was talking about him in my Monarch review. I just watched that show not too long ago. I did a review on it. Like he's just the man, right? He was in The Thing, like he just and tons of other ones, Overboard and all the other stuff. Like he's just awesome. No matter what he's in, I'm typically gonna like what he does with his character. And there's a lot of like Patrick Wilson. I did not expect to see Patrick Wilson in this, and yet here he is for the entire movie. Pretty cool. Um, but having said that, even though I like these actors, didn't really care about their characters. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it is what it is. Did anyone annoy me? I don't think anyone really. The doctor kind of did. I would say the doctor kind of did. Who's Matthew Fox? Yeah, I didn't really like his character too much. He just felt kind of out of place, and he was just kind of there. And maybe I missed a few lines of dialogue where they kind of talk about it and kind of really get it going. But for me, I didn't like that character that much. I didn't like any of them that much. So, but I think his kind of stood out a little bit more because he was the odd one out. Didn't really have too much skin in the game to really be there, even though he like went to go get the doctor's wife and have all. He just didn't seem like he fit. So that'd be my answer. The tone and pacing. Much of the movie is slow, quiet, and even dryly humorous. Sorry. Did that build tension for you or make the horror feel jarring when it finally arrived? Once again, my issue with it is how in the middle of the movie it's kind of boring, but there's a nice payoff at the end. But even like I said before, the payoff at the end was awesome for what it was, but I felt like it was over relatively quick. So I didn't really get like the full payoff, but I got enough of the payoff with the build up that the movie had. And lastly, the ending. How did you interpret the final moments and the characters' futures afterwards? Did the ending feel hopeful, bleak, or simply realistic? For me, how I interpreted that is, well, two different things. I saw it as the characters in Bone Tomahawk escape. You know what I'm saying? They escape, everything's great. The ones that do escape, but I don't know. They don't really allude to it necessarily that they are going to be like there are more of those things out there, but I like to think there was. I like to give this movie a little bit of a bleak ending. They didn't really give that to us, but that's like where my mind went. Adelada, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. But those are all my thoughts on Bone Tomahawk. If I had to give it a score, Layla, hello. I would give it. I do letter grades on the channel, right? I would give it. If I'm gonna be real here, I think I'd give it a C plus. I didn't love it. It was fun, but I didn't love it. Happy Monday. Yeah, how was everyone's Monday? Start to the week. How is everybody doing today? Did you have a good start to the week? But if you want to chime in on Bone Tomahawk, feel free. I'm gonna kind of go over other movies I watched this week, stuff that's happening in the news, stuff like that. Let's see. What did I watch this week? I actually watched a lot of movies after Bone Tomahawk this week. I watched a bunch of random stuff. So I watched the Materialist, the one with Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. I watched that on HBO Max, and I liked that. You know, I missed it when it came out, and yeah, I missed it, and I really dug it. Kind of a different movie than I would typically just throw on, but I really liked it. I thought it was a good, like, different love story, and I didn't really know what I expected for the ending and how it was going to play out, but I liked where that movie went. I liked the message. I thought it was cool. I liked it. I liked it. Support Trump. I don't talk about any politics on this channel, so yeah, there's your answer. No politics here. And then I watched a scary movie, another one, a horror movie called Something Harvest. Why did I forget it? I just watched it earlier today. Dark Harvest. Right? Is it blue? No. Why can't I think of it? Anyway, that was a really cool like mockumentary movie. Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, we talk about movies on the channel. That one I watched on Hulu. Do you like? Does anyone here watch? Does anyone here like the found footage type of movies, horror or not? I was watching this and I've noticed that I've watched a few, not on purpose, not like actively seeking out this type of movie. I've watched a lot of mockumentaries, right, where it looks like it like true crime, like like on Discovery Channel or whatever, but it's like about something fake. But I've watched a few of those recently, and I really kind of like that genre. Branching off of the found footage, because it is found footage, but it's like a documentary style movie. Looked really cool. Um, I watched, and I have these reviews on the channel. I watched. I can't think tonight, y'all. The Wrecking Crew, which is that Jason Statham, not Jason Statham, Jesus Christ, Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista movie on Prime Video, where it's like a buddy cop movie. It's set in Hawaii. It's a lot of fun. I didn't like it at first. Actually, I was not in the mood. It just wasn't hitting for me. Then I turned it on like a day or two later. It was great. So it's a lot like Bad Boys. So if you like Bad Boys, that's on Prime Video. If you have Prime Video, I think it's number one still. I would assume it's number one still on their ranking. So you could probably find it really quick. One thing I will say about that is it's got great action. The jokes are great. Canceled some YouTuber going to a hunting house and get stuck there. Really scary. Oh, is that a movie? Oh, it's like it's a live stream ghost thing, huh? Hmm. Yeah, I've never heard of that. Four popular ghost hunters join gone ghost hunting to live stream from a reputable haunted hunting lodge, aiming to prove legends of a grisly past are true. That sounds really cool. Not the best rated one, but that's okay because like when it comes to horror, it could be rated terribly, but it ends up being pretty good. So, and then the other one I saw this week was Send Help, which is that new Sam Raimi movie. You got Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien. That one was cool. I dug it. I liked it like a little bit more than The Wrecking Crew. I think I went into that with way more hype than The Wrecking Crew because the Rotten Tomato score was out. People were already talking about it. They got early screenings to it and they loved it. And I like Sam Raimi. I'm a big fan. I'm not a massive fan, but I'm a big fan. But I thought it was okay. I think the setting and it just only having two characters kind of like for that long of a movie, and it's not too long. It's like an hour, almost 2 hours. But I think it being a little bit shorter would have helped. And then this week, I was looking ahead, and this week's got a lot of stuff, y'all. Like, not even just horror movies, just like movies in general. Every week, pretty much in February, you got like 3 or 4 different type of movies. Like this week, I'm gonna try to go see Whistle, which is a horror movie, and then I'm gonna go try to see Strangers Chapter 3. We'll see how this turns out. Maybe they can save it in the end. And then there's one more. Oh, Dracula. The Dracula movie that's coming out. That's been out everywhere except North America. So, y'all, I'll be right back. Just hang tight. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. Sorry about that. Y'all had to blow my nose real quick. let's see. What else is there? So that's what I've been watching, and that's what I'm planning on watching. Um, I'm also thinking of doing the stuff with the channel where so I do a ton of recaps. That's kind of like my bread and butter on the channel. Reviews are like pretty good, but like the recaps I have a lot of fun doing. I think I'm gonna branch off a little bit more with the recaps and like certain movies that are coming out, like Scream 7. I'm gonna go a little bit further into it. I have a recap coming out for you all, but I'm also gonna do like a more of like a deep dive, right? Like a video essay type of thing with some of these things that are coming out. So keep a lookout for that. I'm really excited to start that. Let's see. I still haven't seen 28 Years Later, Bone Temple, and I really need to, but it's stopped playing. It's funny, I had time today, right? Day off, it just lined up really well. The theater that's closest to me stopped playing it. So I couldn't go see it today. So that's kind of a bummer. I know it'll be coming to Netflix. I would say probably before the summer, probably like April or something. So I'll check it out then. But that's one that I missed this year that's probably the one that I didn't want to miss, but it is what it is. Anyone ready for the Super Bowl? Super Bowl is coming up next Sunday. I'm pretty hyped for it. I'm going Seahawks. I don't know about y'all, but I'm going Seahawks. But as far as the movie trailers that'll be playing in there, let's see. I think it got revealed today. I know for sure that Scream 6 is going to have one. I know that for sure. Here we go. IGN. They released the Scream one, the Scream big game trailer thing already online. It just makes me wonder, why are you putting it out during the Super Bowl? Because they know how much it costs. You know what I mean? When you just do this and like everybody and their mom sees it. Like, I don't know if there's anyone that's going to be watching the Super Bowl that doesn't know about it. If they don't know about it by now, it's probably, I understand. I understand the marketing thing, but still, it's crazy. Okay, so this is what they're saying. So a new report from Deadline, I did not know this, suggests that Marvel is going to skip the Super Bowl ad rush entirely. Crazy. So no Spider-Man, no Avengers, or any of like the shows that they have. They're not going to promote that. Crazy. Tobias, thank you. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Damn, I would have put money on Disney. Well, that's Marvel. Maybe they have Disney. Let's keep reading. Oh, yeah, and then Warner Brothers is going to sit out the Super Bowl again. They did that last year. They just played. They kept saying, I remember because I was super hyped for Superman. They're like, we're going to skip the Super Bowl, but we're going to give you some new footage during the Puppy Bowl because Warner Brothers owns that channel. I was like, cool, like, that's me sick. And then you see what it was, and it was just Green Lantern doing something. Like, it wasn't even footage from the movie. It's crazy. So I hope that when they show something during the Puppy Bowl, it's more than just Supergirl just standing there like they did with Green Lantern. Like that's what I hope. Luke, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Good to hear from you. Top 5 most anticipated for 26. I have a list, actually. Let me find it real fast. I started making this list because there's just so many, you know what I mean? And it's hard to keep track, so I just kept a running list going. Okay, so my top 5 that I have right now, unadjusted in the past few weeks. Number 5, I have Scary Movie 6. That should come out in June. Number 4, I have Resident Evil. 3, I have Werewolf. 2 is Project Hail Mary, and 1 is Dune Part 3. Those are my top 5s. It was hard. It was funny too, because Project Hail Mary, I think I had that at 9. Okay, and then that's when I started reading the book. As I'm reading the book, when I'm getting closer to the end of the book, like the last few chapters, I kept moving that thing up, and I moved it up and up and up, and like, it deserves to be at number 2, if not number 1, because that book was unbelievable. So those are my top 5. Having said that, I guess Project Hail Mary is the next one. That's like the earliest one that's gonna come out of that list. I had Scream 7 at 10, so that's like the closest one. But we'll see what's going on. What about you, Luke? What's your top five? So the Odyssey is not in my top 10, which is crazy. I understand that. So there's no doubt in my mind that the Odyssey is going to be great. Zero doubt. I think it's visually going to be awesome. Like the actors in it. Is there another movie that has a cast like that? It's unbelievable. Like I'm going to love the movie. I already know that. Haven't read the book, so I don't know exactly what to expect, but I kind of like that. So it's not on my list because when I was going through my top 10, every single movie that's on my top 10 is on my top 10 for like a personal reason, right? Dune Part 3. Loved the first two, and then I read the books after the fact and cannot wait to see what they do with the next one. So like that's like something I have like some skin in the game with, right? Project Hail Mary, like I said before, I read the book, got some skin in the game. Werewolf from Robert Eggers, I love what he does. Nosferatu, in my opinion, I understand this is something that people are so divided on. I loved it. I loved everything he did with that, and the fact that he's gonna go and do a werewolf movie now, and it's a period piece, like, love it. Resident Evil, played those games since I was in middle school. Played pretty much every single one. There's a few spin-offs that I didn't play, but like, I love that franchise, and I love Zach Kreger. He's two for two for me with Barbarian and Weapons, so love that. And Scary Movie 6, I watched them all. I didn't see 5, but I don't think anyone saw 5. So super incredibly hyped for that because I love horror. You already know that, but like it's been too long and they have so much material to use. And I have a feeling, and I think they've said it before already, that they're going back. Like they're not holding back on anything, and that just gets me so excited. So like I've followed a lot of these things for a long time. And that's why the Odyssey I have another bottom 5, but same reasons for all of those. Once again, the Odyssey, I don't have anything there for it. Christopher Nolan's a good director. He's not my favorite. He's got good stuff. But I think, and it's funny, it's like this is like, this is just a me thing. But I feel like the hype that Oppenheimer got really kind of like put a bad taste in my mouth because I thought it was fine. I thought it was a good movie for what it was. But for all the awards that it got and everyone talking about it, and I'm just kind of like, that wasn't that for me. So I'm just kind of a little weird with that. I don't know why. Werewolf by Eggers, sign me up, hell yeah. Let's see. Timothy was buzzcut in Dune 3. Yeah. Have you read Messiah? Do you know what happens in this next part? Luke? And cool new alienish movie, sign me up. Yeah. Oh, and then you have you know what? I didn't even have Spielberg on my list, which is crazy. Because his new movie looks cool. I hope they fix the CGI with the animals. Very small nitpick, but that is something in the trailer I was like, it doesn't look that good. But who's a better director, Spielberg or Nolan? There's no right answer, of course, but real quick though. So according to Deadline, during the Super Bowl, we're gonna get a trailer for Michael, which the new trailer dropped today. So I'm wondering if it's just gonna be a snippet of that, which it probably is. And then we're also gonna get a new trailer for Scream 7. Excuse me, we already got that today as well. So very odd. Okay, so Disney is actually going all in on the Super Bowl, but Marvel is not. We're gonna get trailers for Hoppers, which looks sick. Toy Story 5, which is a thing. Mandalorian and Grogu, that makes tons of sense. Also, Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie, Minions 3, and then the Spielberg movie Disclosure Day. Overall, pretty weak. If those are the only ones we're getting, very weak lineup for the Super Bowl in my opinion. Yes, Luke. Yes, thank you. You're a prestige real one. I don't know if that's my favorite from him, but it's like top 2, top 3. Incredibly underrated. And that's what I'm talking about, right? Oppenheimer was great. I couldn't remember a damn thing about the movie, or I didn't think about it afterwards. You know what I mean? But a lot of his movies, after the fact, you think about those movies. You really do. And, Inception and The Prestige, there's a lot to unpack and a lot to kind of rewind and think about. Interstellar, once again, that there's that too. Even like to a lesser degree, like some of the Batman movies, you end up thinking about them. You think about what happened. You think about how you got from A to B. Like there's a lot there. Memento. There's just all this stuff. So yeah, I don't know what it is with me and Oppenheimer, but like I don't know. I'm weird. Yes, Spielberg is 100%. I was in I agree with you. By the way, I was in last week. Me and my wife were in Orlando for just a vacation. We went to Universal Studios, right? And they had the ET ride. I don't know if you've ridden that ride or seen that ride, but man, that thing is awesome. And it's so like it's all the practical effects, but just being there and there's like a video of Spielberg talking to you before you get on the ride, and it just brings me back and just makes you really think, man, have you ever seen a director just own a decade? That came out in the 80s, right? And then you go to Schindler's List and you go to Jurassic Park and then you have Jaws. Like Spielberg's the GOAT. I think he is. That's just me kind of just getting myself hyped up for it. I have to really sit down and think about my favorite directors, but he's got to be in there. Like he's done so many different genres. He's the man. So let's see. Dune 1, 2, impersonal. Dune 2, total opposite. I like the biblical, historic aspects of the Dune franchise. Me too. Me too. It's so odd, right? Like, because Star Wars came after Dune, so it takes a lot of inspiration from it. Um, Luke, I was really nervous to start the Dune books because the Dune movies kind of hard to follow because there's just so much going on. There's different characters, there's different, but that's what you get with fantasy, sci-fi stuff like that. I was really nervous to start it, but after watching the first two movies and then jumping into the books and then going further past where the movies have gone so far, the newer movies, it was pretty easy. It's very easy to kind of like figure it out and kind of get more lost in that world. I'd recommend it. They're awesome. And you have a long time to do it too. I was so concerned that I wasn't going to get through them before the new movie comes out. I finished them, the first three books, in, I don't know, like 2 months, 2 or 3 months. It was a pretty quick thing. Highly recommend them. And just not to give anything away for Dune Part 3, from what I'm gathering, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, my own personal prediction, just based on what I've read in the books, I think they're going to combine 3 and 4. I'm sorry, Messiah and then Children of Dune into one. I think, but maybe not. Who knows? Because they did change the title of this from Dune Messiah to Dune Part 3. So that makes me think that's what's going to happen. I'm posting a poll tomorrow on the channel. I think I'm gonna start doing more polls. I like doing polls, and I kind of stopped doing that for a while. Do any of you think this is gonna be the poll for tomorrow? Does any of you think that Jason Momoa's, I'm switching gears, Jason Momoa's Lobo, that's gonna be in Supergirl, do you think that character, if he's around for long enough, is gonna be just as impactful or have the potential to be more impactful and like liked than Deadpool? Because there's a lot of similarities there, still very different, but I think those two are like very similar. Yeah, part two is fantastic. I actually have only seen it once. I went to the theater when it came out. I haven't watched it yet. I treat the Dune movies like I treat the Lord of the Rings movies. I only watch the extended cuts once every like 2 or 3 years because they're that special. I don't want to like run them into the ground. I don't want to just throw them on and have them on in the background while I'm doing whatever. Like I respect the hell out of how good those movies are, and I will not watch it on my phone. I like it's got to be on the big screen. I gotta make it a thing. I have to make it an event. So I'm gonna rewatch these probably in the summer, maybe a little bit just closer to part three. I'm kind of like going back and forth on checking out the Dracula movie because I'm hearing a couple of mixed things here. The trailer looked cool. I will say that. Where is it? Yeah, so Dracula is sitting at 74% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not, and I always go to Rotten Tomatoes, but it's not like a end all be all thing. But that's where I go with it, and it's getting pretty good reviews, I will say, and that's based on 27. It's got Christoph Waltz in it, so I might have to check that out. The movie that I think is gonna bomb this February, unfortunately, is the Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. All right, it's sitting at 94% with 35 reviews, so pretty respectable. And I've heard from people that have seen this that they loved every second of it. I know that towards the end it kind of turns into something, I don't know exactly what, that might turn some people off, but they say that like this movie doesn't hold back on anything. And just hearing that gets me excited. But I mean, we have Wuthering Heights. I don't know if anyone's read that book. I haven't read it, but that's going to be. It's funny, when I saw the trailer for that, didn't know what it was, have no idea what it would be. I know it's a book, I know it's a very well known book, but the movie itself didn't look that good. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully it's good because I know it's like a very specific demographic. So hopefully it's good and it delivers on them. And then, does anyone? What do you think about Goat, the animated movie? Goat looks pretty cool. Lobo and Deadpool, fitting comparison. Didn't think of him that way yet. I'm still thinking in terms of the Snyder tone. I think if used right, he has a chance to be for DC as Deadpool. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean by that is they are so similar, and even like Momoa and Ryan Reynolds, like their personalities to a sense, like that, they're so similar. The characters and the people that play the characters. Um, so Lobo, I think, has a small role in Supergirl. Read from people that have seen the first cut or early access or whatever, that he's in like 2 to 3 scenes. I think he's in like 1 or 2 fights. So he's not in the movie a lot, which he shouldn't be. It's not his movie. But man, what I'm waiting to see is popping up on the headlines. Jason Momoa returning for what's called Man of Tomorrow. That's what I want to see. But I guess we would have to see if Supergirl returns. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Man of Tomorrow. That's what I'm worried about. I'm really worried about the DCU, and I've talked about this before. My issue with Marvel is they're gonna introduce all these people, which is awesome. But then you don't see these people for like 4 to 5 years. They show up again, you're like, what were they doing? What were they doing? Look at Shang-Chi. They totally they put out the movie and he hasn't been anything until the end of this year in Doomsday. So I don't want that to happen. But in Superman, they added a lot of people right out the gate. So I kind of expect the majority of them to be in the next one. So hopefully that happens. Yeah, exactly. We're not really watching Deadpool in a sense. We are, of course, but that is definitely Ryan Reynolds. You get the feeling he's just playing himself, right? To be fair though, like I have issues with that, but to be fair, a lot of Jason Momoa's stuff is him playing himself. So, you know, kind of a double standard there, but that's okay. Oh, so have you seen the trailer for it comes out this week? I haven't seen the trailer for it yet, but I think I'm just gonna go in blind. Whistle. It's a horror movie. A misfit group of unwitting high school students stumble upon a cursed object, an ancient Aztec death whistle, and after discovering that blowing the whistle and the terrifying sound it emits will summon their future deaths to hunt them down. Pretty cool. Sounds cool. So I think I'm gonna go see that Thursday night, and in the morning, just how my schedule is, I'm gonna go check out The Strangers Chapter 3. Not a lot of hope for that one. I will say that, but we'll see how it turns out. JLo the horse, what's going on? How are you? Trying to see if there's anything else out there as far as like news and stuff like that. But it doesn't look like it. I think we covered everything. So yeah, we can talk about whatever. It's been a while since I've been on the live stream though, because let's see. I went on the vacation, and then I think I was. Then I got back on that Sunday. Yeah, I was on vacation for like two of them. No, I didn't feel good the first. I don't remember. I was getting over a cold, and then we went on vacation, and then. But anyway, I'm back. And then Saturday we'll do something as well. Saturday morning we'll have another live stream. It'll be awesome. Yeah, that's right, Luke. That's right. I mean, he's talked about that back when he was Aquaman of Lobo this, Lobo that. So the fact that he gets to do it, he's going all in. And I saw a thing today or yesterday. It was recent, and he was saying that he was able to. He was so nervous going into the first scene that he had to actually do as Lobo, and apparently he got it on the first take. They didn't want to do any other takes, which is pretty like that must feel pretty good for him, having all this pressure that he put on himself to be this character, and he just knocks it out of the park right away. Where the director's like, "No, we're good. Let's move on." Like that's pretty cool. So that gives me some hope for it. And it's pretty cool that he is in this role because it's a role that he has wanted to play. So I feel like like whenever James Gunn needs to use him, or I guess the DC needs to use him, he'll be there ready to go no matter what. He'll probably drop everything to be there. Did anyone go see Iron Lung this weekend? Anyone that's watching? Because I did not see anything on it. I haven't watched the trailer, and I did that intentionally, right? I heard this was coming out, kind of snuck up on me, and I was like, "Oh, Iron Lung, Markiplier." I haven't played Iron Lung, so I don't know what it is. Um, but I like Markiplier. I've watched some of his YouTube stuff a while back. I like him. The idea looks pretty cool from what I've seen. Once again, I haven't really seen much. But then the reviews started coming out, and the one common thing that I kept seeing for this is that it's boring. That it's over 2 hours, and there's no reason why it should be over 2 hours. Everyone I've heard this, not everyone. I've heard two to three other people say specifically this thing should have been an hour or 45 minutes, and it would have been awesome. So that kind of keeps me from going to check it out. Lost Highway. What's Lost Highway? So with David Lynch, okay. So first of all, I've never seen this. It looks interesting. I like it when you all suggest stuff. I type it into Google, and then it brings it up, but I never know what it's gonna look like. And there's some crazy images here. Okay, so let me click on David Lynch because we've talked about him before, and I don't think I have a lot of experience with him. No, not at all. Let me pull him up. So Eraserhead, I've not seen, but I've been wanting to. Damn, you're gonna be pissed at me. So Eraserhead, I've not seen. I've not seen Lost Highway. I've not seen any of the Twin Peaks, which I hear are great. Um, yeah, I actually think I've not seen any of his stuff, but I know he's awesome. So I need to get on that. So let me look at Lost Highway real quick, Luke. Um, oh, it's got Bill Pullman in it. Okay, let's see. Neo noir horror film. Okay, cool. The film stars. Okay, perfect, perfect. In their final film. Okay. It follows a man who receives unmarked VHS tapes showing footage of his home before he abruptly arrested for his wife's murder, at which point he mysteriously disappears and is replaced by a young man leading a different life. That sounds cool. Where'd you watch it on, Luke? Was it streaming anywhere? And good for you for exposing yourself to more stuff like that, because if it's not like the typical thing you watch, you kind of don't even want to bother with it. Like today, like I said, I threw on the Materialist, and once again, it's like a love story. I didn't know much about it. I haven't seen anything on it, but I was like, oh, I heard it was good. I'm gonna throw it on. Ended up really liking it, so good for you. James Gunn is a good sport and a real nerd, so I'm very hopeful. Yeah. Did you see the news that he? This isn't confirmed by any stretch, but I don't even know where it came from. But apparently, he's potentially going to be directing or co-directing the Batman, the DCU Batman movie. Um, I don't want that at all. I really don't. The fact that he has been the director for every project so far, don't really like that. I get it though. He's leading the charge, but I think after Man of Tomorrow, I would like him to take a step back. I want him to delegate all these different movies to other people so we start to get like different visions. Now, I don't know how I feel yet. Whereas like whatever like the next Superman movie after Man of Tomorrow, that kind of feels like it should be him to keep the tone going. Whereas the director of all these other ones, if they do a good job, of course, maybe they keep going with their characters just to keep the tones different overall, but linear in that lane. I give him a chance knowing a bit more about him with his meditation practice and approach to creativity. Look, I've heard great things. He passed away, right? Yeah, he just recently passed away, or I guess a year ago. I remember when that happened and everyone was upset by it, and I was like, I haven't seen anything from him. So Eraserhead is probably the one that I would watch first. Um, I know nothing about it except the cover that I've seen my whole life. Yeah, I want to check that out. You kind of inspired me, man. I think I need to check this out. Ooh, nice. So they're just a David Lynch month or anything like that, or is it just every so often they'll be showing one of his movies? That's cool. I think this is on. Oh, my phone's up there. I remember it was on. Eraserhead was on HBO Max at one point. I'll have to check it out again. He has done a lot of movies. That's wild. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to Rotten Tomatoes again to look up his highest. Lumiere and Company is his highest. Don't know what that is. It's not even a cover for it. Hmm. Yeah, pass the torch, and that way he can be involved with kind of all the projects, but not like overwhelmed to like finish them or like be there every single day and stuff like that. Like that's what I want to see for sure. And of course, he can come in and like you know still direct movies and stuff, but I'm just worried. And it's only been him so far, so I can't say it's an issue like it's an issue yet. But like, sorry guys. Um, because what are we getting next? Supergirl's next, which is a different director, And then we got Lanterns, different director, different writer to both of those. And then Clayface, different writer and different director. So really, after so like honestly, what's happening right now is what I just said that I wanted. Tons of Gunn at first. This entire year is has nothing to do with him. He had no role other than like probably the producer on all of them. But that's it. He didn't write it. He's not directing them. So that's pretty cool. And then we'll circle back and have him in Man of Tomorrow. So honestly, I guess I can't complain now that I pointed that out. I have a list of movies coming out soon. Let's see. Anyone hyped for Ready or Not 2? I will admit, I wasn't a huge fan of the first um, Ready or Not. And I was really late to the party too. I came in and I watched it, I think last year. I thought it was okay. I need to double check. I need to rewatch it again because Samara Weaving's awesome. And Radio Silence are great directors as far as like their the tone of the movies and what they do. They know what they're doing. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch it before the new one comes out. Yeah, and maybe you'll do you like really ambiguous endings like where you kind of determine what the outcome is? I wonder if a lot of his stuff is like that. So if that is the case, if that's how his movies are, I could see a lot of people not being down with that. You know what I mean? You know what movie I started, and it's nothing like Lynch, but it's Guillermo del Toro. But I started watching The Shape of Water for the first time. That movie looks cool. I'm like 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in. I really like it so far, and it's definitely weird. It's different. So maybe I'll check out Eraserhead after I do that one, and just kind of do what you're doing, Luke, and just get weird because the movies that are coming out like to theaters, like I'm gonna go see those, but they're not weird. Typically, those are pretty tame and pretty, you know, I guess I'll say mainstream. I got to dig deep. I got to get on Tubi and find the weird stuff. Oh, I saw Bugonia um, earlier this month too for the first time. Has anyone seen that? That was wild. And I don't know how I feel about the ending of Bugonia. I liked it. I liked the movie. I liked it a lot. But that ending, I still am trying to decide if it made the movie or it didn't make the movie for me. And I think I think it made the movie. Like if I'm being real, like just, I think it was weird though. So yeah, if you haven't seen Begonia, not what I expected. And I think that's why it works. I also watched His and Hers on Netflix. Yeah, see, it's been a while since I actually did a live stream because of multiple reasons. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I checked out recently. So kind of good to talk to you all about that. Oh yeah, and then Catherine O'Hara passed away. That was rough. Like honestly, when that happened, when I got the news of that, when I saw the news of that, like that was sad. Like I haven't even seen a ton of her work, but she was part of a ton of like classics for me. You know what I mean? Home Alone was my first, and then or was it Beetlejuice? It was like one of those. Like I saw them pretty young, and even just those two roles. I'm not even gonna go into like the other ones that I've seen her in. Just those two roles alone, like made an impact on me. Like those are like classics. Those are stuff. Those are things that I watch. I have watched my entire life. So it's crazy that she passed away. It's so sad. Begonia, what's your feeling? I knew halfway through the ending is going to happen. Okay, so you started to get it. Like I had a feeling, but I didn't have a feeling that I could say, okay, I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know that. But I had like half of a feeling. You know what I mean? That like it was like right there, but then I was just like, that's not gonna happen. Like they're crazy. The writing was good. I wish the movie did better in theaters. And once again, when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, it looks okay. Like, I don't know. And then it came out on Halloween or like the day before Halloween. I'm like, that's not what I'm really in the mood for. I should have went to go see that movie. I should like that would have been cool in theaters. So I actually need to watch Schitt's Creek. I started it I think when it was on Hulu. It might still be on Hulu, but we have Hulu and it has the ads on it. And like on a 30-minute show, the ads get so freaking rough that I couldn't like it kind of ruined the experience for me. So when I get a chance to watch it without ads, I'm gonna be all over that thing. Yeah, it's interesting to go back when you see the ending of Begonia. Because when it ended, I like reflected on like how serious that movie is and how the ending is what it is. Yeah, it really like that's a movie that's gonna get you thinking. That's gonna be a cult classic. I bet. I bet that's gonna be a cult classic here in a few years. But it's true, like it's a very, very serious movie, and the end kind of undoes it, but it doesn't ruin it. Damn, this could be a this could be a whole episode of like whole video talking about that damn movie. Oh, they also started filming. I'm jumping all over the place, but this is just stuff that has happened recently. They started filming How to Train Your Dragon 2, the live action one. Anyone excited for that? I haven't seen the original animated 2. I've seen the first one and then I've seen the remake. I like them both. I like them both a lot. And I didn't grow up with them, so there's no nostalgia. I like them both for what they are, and I have a feeling that's how it's going to be with the second one. Me and my wife watch them, so I'll probably. That's why I haven't watched the second one, is because I'm going to wait for her, and we'll just watch it at some point before the new one comes out. Oh yeah, like I didn't think about that. That's true. All these weird movies that come out that kind of fly under the radar, or just they're so good, but no one really sees them. Like that's definitely gonna be one of them to tell our kids and like, hey, we were there for that. You know what's an underrated gem is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I don't know if that's like that's a cult classic for sure. Um, I wish that movie did better because I could have watched 10 more of those movies, but I guess that makes it more special because there's only one. Nuke, I haven't seen Rosemary's Baby. Crazy. I know. So that's been on my list for years, for years. And then I started watching. There's a few people on like TikTok I watch that are like really big into horror, and they were talking about how it's boring or just not a good well, it hasn't aged well and all this stuff. So they kind of turned me off on it, unfortunately. Yeah. So that kind of sucked. Should I still check it out? Luke, do I have your recommendation to check out Rosemary's Baby? I will say cult stuff and like folk horror. I know it's not folk horror, but it's like cult stuff. Like that stuff freaks me out. There's just something about it like, hey, your neighbors, the people you know around you are into this weird stuff. Like that freaks me out. So, but Matrix, yes, Aubrey Plaza is in Scott Pilgrim. There's a lot of people in Scott Pilgrim, which makes it even that much cooler. Oh, that scene never gets old. You just missed him. I love it. And there really isn't anything else like that movie. You know what actually came to mind when I said that, and it's not like Scott Pilgrim, but it's Ready Player One, completely different. I understand that, but like the crazy hyper stylized stuff two different reasons and two different ways of doing it, but that's just what came to my mind. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim is the best. Now that we're on the subject, who else is in Scott Pilgrim? I know Mary Elizabeth Winstead is. Kieran Culkin, his roommate, yeah. Chris Evans. Chris Evans is in it. And Brie Larson. Damn. And I love how Bill Hader's in it. Brandon Routh. Damn, like it's crazy just to look through this. Oh, and then you have where is he? Thomas Jane, right? It's crazy. It's crazy how all these people are in it, and then you look back 15 years and where they are with this. Like Kieran Culkin won awards for is it Severance? Not Severance. The show on HBO. Um, Chris Evans, we saw his career. Brie Larson's killing it. Like, wow. Oh, Napoleon Dynamite. Hell yes. Like that's and once again, that's the other thing of like these cult classics never get sequels, which makes them that much more special. I love that. Okay, cool. Luke, I will check it out. I'm gonna pull the trigger on that. Because yeah, that's a movie that I've been wanting to see for years. Um and I'm all about atmosphere. And I feel like it's funny, as I get older, it's not the build up in these horror movies that get me or like excite me and it's not even like the jump scares. Like those are fun, of course. But the atmosphere, because you can sit with the atmosphere for the entire movie and you just feel uneasy and you feel nervous and weird. And to me, that's scarier than like the jump scares and you get to breathe afterwards. Like a movie that I talk about, which I still don't know exactly how high I hold this movie. These movies is like Hereditary and Midsummer, right? Very different, but there is a sense of dread in almost every scene. So even though nothing scary is happening, you don't feel right. You know what I mean? You feel like you have to take a shower or something. Like it's you feel like something is watching you watching the movie, and I love that. Oh, and the dance scene, yes, the dance scene. Like yes, the dance scene, of course, but there are so many scenes in that movie. That movie is so quotable too. You know what I mean? Bet you I could throw this over the mountains. Tina, you fat lard, come get some dinner. And tons of others. Like you have to think that when they were filming that movie, every so often, might be every day, they probably turned like we're looking at each other like this might be really bad, but it ended up being great. So, ooh, okay, you're really kind of selling me on Lynch as well as Rosemary's Baby. Like I said before, like that's the thing that I love most. That's why I'm looking forward to Werewolf so much, is because the atmosphere that Eggers did in Nosferatu, in The Witch, The Lighthouse, less so in the Barbarian, but the Northman. I'm sorry, um, but like that's why I love his style so much. Like I just love sitting with that. So if that's what Lynch does, I gotta check that out. Do you okay? So sorry, let me pull it up again. Okay, so Twin Peaks. Do you know much about Twin Peaks? Because isn't it a show as well, or is it just these movies? Because you have Twin Peaks, and then you have the Firewalk. Okay, because I always thought it was a show, or maybe it's both. The pants that he was wearing in Napoleon Dynamite when he was doing that, perfect touch, absolutely perfect touch. So I'm gonna look up. Yeah, I'm gonna look up Twin Peaks. So it was a show, and then it came back in 2017. Oh, okay, 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 okay. But then, but then there were movies. I've been wanting to look this up for so long. Oh, Twin Peaks is also a restaurant. Twin Peaks. Um, oh, okay. So it's a show and a movie. Cool. Oh, it's a prequel to seasons 1 and 2 of the show. I've heard good things about this one. So maybe I'll check that out. I don't. I'll have to look at what order to go in when it comes to Twin Peaks. But that's another one I've heard multiple times in my life to check out. So I got to check that out. If I'm gonna do a David Lynch type of deal, and it looks like it's on HBO Max, so that works for me. Let's see here. Okay. There is a there's a horror movie coming out. Oh, Psycho Killer. Have you all seen the trailer for that? So I saw the trailer for that once, and then I haven't seen it again. And the fact that it's coming out on the 20th of this month, I'm gonna try to stay away from that as much as possible because that looks so cool. That looks awesome. Um, I was going through this month, and it just seems like there is a ton every week. There's actually a movie coming out on Friday, but it's not coming to theaters. It's one of the ones like go straight to video with oh, what's it called? Um, hold on. Lauren Lavera. That was her name. Lauren Lavera from the Terrifier series. She is coming out with a movie called where is it? Twisted. And I don't know how to say his name. I'm gonna botch the hell out of it, and I'm sorry, but Jimon Hansu, you definitely know who he is when you see him. Um, it worries me that it's going straight to streaming, but I kind of want to check it out. Let's see. A con artist real estate scam unravels into a living nightmare when she's captured by a surgeon who has a terrifying plan for her. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy there, but I like both of them, so I want to check that out. I don't know if I will, but I gotta check that out. But I think that's kind of all I have to talk about today, y'all. Like I said, the past, honestly, all of January has been very odd for me as far as getting on here, as far as making videos. It was busy. It was a lot of stuff going on. But let's see. Twin Peaks has some overacting. Started watching it yesterday. It was meant as a parody of soap operas. Oh, okay. I always thought it was so it's kind of goofy, is what you're saying. Because I always pictured it, once again, knowing not much about it, as kind of being like a Twilight Zone esque type of situation. But cool. But yeah, as far as the live streams go, I'll be back this Saturday. Once again, kind of start getting that going again. I was considering, I don't know, I'll probably bring this up a few more times before I actually do it, if I do it. But I was thinking of doing like a watch along, so kind of like what movie club is, but we'll watch a movie together. And we can like chat on the live stream and kind of talk like that as well. Maybe movie club will turn into that. I don't know. We'll check it out. But I have that coming out. I actually have. Yeah, Luke, I love having you on here. When you showed up, I was like, nice, we got this. So yeah, thank you for being here. Um, Saturday I'll do that. I have a lot of recaps done. I have like 8 ready to go for different shows, different movies that are coming out in basically all of February and like halfway through March. So keep a lookout for those. Um, and if you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Trying to get to 3,000 subs. It is so hard. But it is what it is. It's fun getting on here with y'all and talking and making these videos is fun. It's therapeutic. And I'll never pass up a chance to talk about movies. But Luke, to everybody that's watching, thank you so much for watching. And I will catch you on Saturday morning or the next movie club, whichever one you tune into first. But I'll see y'all then, all right? Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great night. Go do something fun. Go watch a good movie. Later.